I've traveled a lot, and I find that when you're traveling, life is quite unstable. But you just accept that that's the case, where you're kind of like on the move. So it's not as stable as if you were in the same place every day. This one, the reasons, one of the things I'm enjoying about Morocco is that actually being stable, not traveling, I feel like I'm getting more work done, all these kind of things. So I would definitely say that you're in this phase now. So my advice generally would be to enjoy that phase. So if I was in a traveling mode now, I would try and not stress about the fact that I'm not getting enough work done, or that I'm not kind of like stable, all this. I'm like, the stage of my life I'm in right now is traveling. So let me enjoy this. Let me go all into this. Okay. Now, of course, there's admin and other things you got to do, but generally, let me go all into this, right? In the same way, if I was in a stable phase, like now, I should be careful I don't get into that mode where I'm like, oh man, I'm too stable, I want to travel, this, that, and the other. I do get like that sometimes, but I just remind myself that, look, I'm in this phase of stability, go all in. So first thing is I would say is like, just go all in the phase that you're in. Secondly, you need to start defining the next phase and the next phase and the next phase. So you need to get clear, okay, I'm in traveling right now, but next, am I going to stability? Next, am I going to this? Am I going to that? And I think some of the phases need to be decided based upon your priorities. So, for example, for me, it was clear immediately that if you're not married, that should be one of your top priorities, I would say, for sure. Of course, finances, all this other thing comes into it as well. But generally, the phase that you should be preparing for is actually marriage. The fact that you said you're going to move to Morocco, I think marriage is a lot easier in this country than it is in a lot of the Western countries. So for me, I would be thinking, right, if marriage is a top priority for me, if moving to Morocco is a top priority for me, right, after this traveling phase is done, I need to prepare for that. And I need to do what's required to get into that phase, or I need to basically do the work. And so the next phase might not be going to Morocco, this or that. It might be doing everything that's required to then get to that phase. So I think deep down, you need to just sit down and go, right, what are my top 3 to 5 priorities in life right now? And can I do those in this phase right now? And if I can't, what's the next phase that is required for me to do that? This is what I would say to you practically. First thing is that I would enjoy my last week in doing what I'm there to do. I wouldn't stress about marriage and seeking knowledge and jobs. I wouldn't stress about any of that. I would just make the most of this time that I'm in right now. Second thing I would do in this time is I would use it for strategic thinking. So I would think a lot about these things. So top priorities, like these are my things. What do I want to be? Where do I want to go? Like all these kind of like, I'll just use it for thinking time. And while you're traveling, while you're doing that, I would just like note things down and think. And I would just do that. Part of that I would do is, apart from the thinking, is maybe on the plane home, for example. I think planes are amazing places to work, by the way. On the plane home, I might do a concrete plan. Okay, so now I'm about to land back in the US. Like, what's my top priorities? Here are my top priorities. Okay, in the next 90 days, and I think doing a 90-day plan is good. By the end of the year, like, what do I need to do to be in the place where I want to be? Right? So let's say by the end of the year, I want to be in Tangier. I want to be married. I want to have a job, and I want to be like going to the local hadith school or something. Okay, cool. So to make each of these happen, what do I need to do? And I'll just come up with like a master plan on the plane, and I'll be like, right, as soon as I touch down into the US, I'm going to have 1 or 2 days of recovery. And after that point, I'm going into monk mode. I'm going to go like from Fajr, I'm going to start working every day, and I'm going to go full on into this plan. You might even say that my moving date is this date, and then my other thing is this date, so you could have other dates. You could even do a 30-day plan. Like if you have a little bit of money and you have this and that, you can actually move to Tanja very quickly. And then here, when you get here, you could be like, okay, let me get onto the job, right? And while you're here, start looking for marriage. Even like I was speaking to a brother about he's married here, and like the amount he's spending on like maintaining his wife and stuff, it's not a huge amount. You should have it in your mind. Basically, after this year, I'm not going to be unmarried. Like this year, I have to get married. Before the 31st of December, I need to get married. If there's no one on the 31st of December, I'm just going to find a random person, I'm getting married. Like no, by hook or by crook, I'm getting married.